Okay, take it away, Mark.
Thank you very much, Felipe. I do appreciate that. Mark Worthy, I am the immediate past president of the Lobo Toastmasters Club here at the University of New Mexico. Prior to that, I was also area governor. Toastmasters is a professional communication and leadership skills development organization. It is resident in more than 90 countries with over 350,000 members. 4 million people have walked through their doors over the last 88 years. As time has advanced, technology has advanced, we are learning how to deliver presentations orally, and now modern technology enables us to add the feature that can enhance what we are saying. Fundamentally, public speaking, the art or the act of presenting for an audience in a formal manner in order to inform, entertain, persuade, inspire, has been complemented by technology. And that is what we're going to discuss this evening. Felipe, if possible, is it perchance we can show the second slide? Thank you very much. I want to make sure that this evening we address ourselves to particular issues. Fundamentally, how to give a presentation using technology effectively. We will discuss PowerPoint, Prezi, pros and cons. As Felipe indicated, there are handouts which are available to you. I will also, with Felipe's assistance, be able to deliver a slide presentation, a slideshow, a YouTube video, and we can discuss the various aspects of presentation technology and how it can enhance that which you are attempting to achieve. First and foremost, I'd like to make sure we have historical context. I think in terms of public speaking, I look at it from a Eurocentric perspective. It is taught in that manner. Typically, we refer to the Greeks. We go back in time 2,400 years. We began to address open forums, oratory, rhetoric, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. It is Aristotle who established the appeals of public speaking. On rhetoric, he discusses ethos, logos, pathos. An audience is more inclined to accept that which you have to share if your delivery is rooted in ethos. Greek and English, ethics, logos for logic, pathos. If your delivery is driven by passion, emotion, in many instances, people are more inclined to accept your delivery. That's fundamental to public speaking and oratory and rhetoric. What we're going to do tonight is talk about the process of complementing that presentation with technology and how you can benefit from using it effectively and appropriately. Too frequently, people do assume that a delivery rooted in visual aids automatically means PowerPoint. That is not the case at all. Understand that the most significant thing that you can do is determine, do you need technology? Must you have a computer? Or can you deliver an excellent presentation without the technology available? However, we are here to discuss technology. And we need to understand that instructional media has enabled us to do numerous things in the classroom and at the workplace, as well as at home. So I'd like to move on to the next slide. if possible. Thank you. I would like to share with you a YouTube video by a gentleman, John Freisinger. He is well respected in the world of public speaking. He is President and Chief Executive Officer for the Technology Venture Corporation here in Albuquerque. They have a strong relationship with the university. John delivered a presentation, as you can see by the title, How to Suck Less at PowerPoint. It is 5 minutes and 25 seconds long. I ask that you pay attention, and afterwards we can have dialogue and discussion with regard to that which he has asserted. So Felipe, can we run this YouTube video?
Now we have John Freisinger up, and he's going to help start out our evening with a presentation that kind of tailor the rest of our evening. How to suck less at PowerPoint.
I begin with the theory that we, as a society, don't want to suck at PowerPoint. Am I right? The problem is not PowerPoint itself. The problem is our audience. It's you.
The same year
that gave us Van Halen's last great album,
the movie
Footloose, and Kelly Osbourne
also gave us
the double plus, double good software PowerPoint.
PowerPoint is
much like giving children hammers.
We know what
it can do.
We've seen
people use it.
But if you let us
go,
we're just going to make
a mess of it.
And for all you
smug Mac users,
you Keynote users, you're not exempt. Remember that being creative is not the same as being effective. A presenter. The presentation is actually in the presenter. It's not on the screen. So if you're looking up there for some words of wisdom, you're not going to get them.
The presenter is the presentation. We have a fine balance. Do we want to put all of our information up here and be descriptive? Or do we actually want to find a way in which we can provide some information the audience could actually use? That's the challenge of PowerPoint. Every presenter strives to be remarkable. But the only way to be remarkable is to be remembered and repeated. Let me repeat that. To be remembered and repeated. Because at the end, it's not about the presenter. It's about the eyes on the presenter. It's about you in the audience. It's not about what I want to say. It's what you take away with you. 4 basic structures in any great PowerPoint presentation, or any presentation that is benefited by PowerPoint. We have content, we have structure, we have the script, and we have the delivery. The last is the delivery. That's the PowerPoint. Why do we always start with PowerPoint? First thing we should do is look for our content. And our content comes from between our ears. Sit down, make mistakes, use paper to actually brainstorm for a change. Look for specific information the audience could actually take with them tomorrow and use. If all of your information is on your slides, what's the first thing your audience is going to do after your really bad presentation? Ask for your slides. They're just trying to rip you off. Second point of any great speech, any great presentation is the structure. This isn't time to be Kafka. We don't just blurt out information. There has to be a structure, or the audience won't get it. The easiest structure you could possibly think of is to state a problem, to state an action, and give a result. I call it the PAR formula, something you can take with you and use tomorrow. Problem, action, result. The third critical step is finding a script. Words matter. You can tell a woman that her beauty is timeless. You could also tell a woman that her face will stop a clock. The words mean about the same, but the syntax is different. Words matter. Be specific when you use words. The more specific you are, the more credible you are. Specificity builds credibility. If you're using too big of words, your ideas are too small. Big ideas demand small words. That's how the audience will grasp them. Big ideas mean little words. The final thing is the delivery. You can practice. You have to practice. Speaking is one of those rare things that you can't get better by visualizing. We all learned from Sesame Street that the best way to learn is to be entertained. If you can couple entertainment with education, we get engagement. And that's really what our audiences are looking for. They want to be engaged with us. So in summation, practice, practice, practice. It's like making love to your spouse. You're not going to get any better by reading a book. You have to do it. And to find out even more information about PowerPoint, my shameless plug, please go out to johnfreisinger.com and download some of the articles and this PowerPoint presentation. Thank you.
Very good. Do we have any questions, comments, or feedback? Possible to show hands. Thank you, Talal and Felipe. John is well respected. He is an international contest winner. He illustrated the effectiveness of utilizing technology. And Rita, I see that you've indicated you had an interesting point. Would you care to elaborate on that which you considered most interesting? Because John is well respected. He has used this presentation on several occasions, especially here at the University of New Mexico. He is aligned with the Anderson School of Management. Moreover, with the various projects and presentations that take place on campus, frequently we at Toastmasters are asked to participate. Now, Rita, I'm looking at your comment. Now, that is a very interesting perspective to share. And I'm glad that you brought it up because there are particular rules with regard to presentation software. John did allude to it. Be very careful. Think in terms of the structure of a presentation. Your presentation must have an introduction. Your presentation must have a body. Your presentation must have a conclusion. We refer to that as the rule of three. As human beings, particularly in modern Western society, there is a tendency for us to prefer groupings of three, whether it is the three kings who visited the Christ child, the three pigs, three little pigs. Also, we have Goldilocks and the three bears. These groupings, the three stooges. Think about Julius Caesar. Groupings of three. Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. More and more, you will find that the rule of three is applicable. It is easy to remember. That being the case, when you are developing a PowerPoint slide, in many ways, you can use it to replicate the outline of your presentation. I encourage you to use bullet points. Per slide, 3 to 5. Bullet points are appropriate. Then you wrap your narrative around each bullet point, and you treat the bullet point as a cue. Rita, I like what you say when you indicate presentations are just a copy of what people are saying. It should not be a copy of what people are saying. Because if your slide is too busy and has too much text, the audience will begin to read the slide and stop listening to you, the speaker. That should never occur. Do your best to avoid that. You manage the control of the event for however long it may be. This enables you to structure your presentation, maintain an easy manner, not appear robotic, and be as engaging as possible. This is fundamental to using technology. It is the technology which helps to support your message. It supports you, the speaker, the presenter. It is not designed to be a replacement. It is designed to assist you in reinforcing that message which you are attempting to deliver. It is your tool, it is your resource. It is a repository of information that you can manipulate in a manner to be, as indicated on this slide, effective. That's what we're talking about. Whether it's in the boardroom or at the university, more and more technology is essential. Primary, secondary schools are using smart boards. Here at the University of New Mexico, we have a program, Organizational Learning and Instructional Technology, how to use technology efficiently in so many ways. And that's what I'd like to share with you as well. We have some documentation available to you, and it pertains to presentation enhancing technology and instructional media. If possible, I would like to have that available on the screen for those who are interested. Is it possible to bring that record up, Felipe? Thank you so very much. Instructional media. These are the tools that you can utilize, and they are vast, a wide array, as I mentioned. Please just take a quick look at it. You have to decide, you have to render the judgment in order to determine if this is what you need. Essentially, you must conduct a needs assessment. You have to determine that which you want to deliver, how your message, your presentation can be enhanced, and what is appropriate. Brainstorming is the first step. Any idea is a good idea. You jot it down. Thereafter, you cluster your ideas. You establish a network, once again, based upon the standard outline, intro, body, conclusion, introduction. The introduction is very important. Whether it is articulated or whether it is presented on a slide, it is absolutely necessary that you gain the audience's attention. You do so in one of three ways. You must deliver a quote, something that people can reflect upon. Also, a statistic. People are moved by numbers, and statistics have such impact in helping us formulate ideas. And lastly, an anecdote, a story, a brief story, that which the audience can relate to. Moreover, you have to tell the audience what the topic is. What are you going to speak about? Why are you speaking about this subject matter? What is your thesis? Why is it so important? What are you going to share during the course of your presentation? That central idea is fundamental to your introduction and fundamental to your presentation. The central idea is a single sentence statement that tells the audience what it is about to hear. Generally, 3 points that you will share with the audience. Understand that those 3 points constitute the body of your presentation. Remember, the introduction, you have 3 points, the body, 3 points. And your task is to navigate smoothly from point to point. Thereafter, your conclusion also will have 3 points. Remind the audience what you were telling them, why you were telling them, the value of your presentation, and lastly, go out with a strong point, a call to action, a challenge. Tell the audience what they should do with the information that you have imparted upon to them. That's structure. Now, with regard to the technology as we move down, let's take a look at this briefly. And please know that these handouts are available to you because the Graduate Resource Center has made a concerted effort to do so. And I encourage you to review them at your leisure. And you can always contact the GRC for a follow-up. You need to make sure you attract attention. The PowerPoint slide should not be too busy. You want to grasp the attention, you need to engage, and you want to promote the acceptance of your idea. That takes us back to the fundamentals as indicated, as established by Aristotle. The ethos, the logos, the pathos. Now, I would like to move on to our next document. Your goal, your responsibility is to create an environment in which learning is facilitated. And doing so, the PowerPoint can be extremely beneficial for you. PowerPoint has been in existence for roughly 25 years. In recent years, however, Prezi has become very significant for many people. You have to determine text versus image. An image can reinforce your message more so than text. I encourage you to consider this and to utilize images. As you saw with the presentation by John Freisinger, he was able to use an image. And please review this because John used very few words. And the words are powerful. Too many words are overwhelming, and the audience will shut down, overload. That is what you want to avoid. That's why it's imperative for you to exhaust the various solutions and determine that which meets and satisfies your needs. You decide, is it text-oriented? Will images be more effective? Graphics. Graphics can be so significant in reinforcing that which you want to demonstrate. These documents are available for you. It is important for you, for instance, to establish or create a storyboard, that which you want to share. You are staging the event from concept through fruition. You are the producer. You are the actor or actress, if you will. It is necessary for you to take a top-down approach because you must be aware of everything that is going to take place in order to make your presentation as successful as possible. Now, I want you to know that there are various solutions. There are a wide range of solutions. And what we've done is compiled a list. We did research, and we always give credit to the authors. We have our next document that references the 5 best presentation creation tools. Mr. Fitzpatrick, as you can see, this is a little more than 2 years ago, conducted research, and he wanted to address and determine that which is most suitable depending on the needs of the individual. I wanted us to move through this very carefully and look at various factors that will determine whether or not you use a solution or not. Now, as I indicated, in recent years, Prezi has been extremely powerful. However, according to the research done by Jason Fitzpatrick, it appears that PowerPoint still dominates. Be that as it may, it is essential for you to exhaust the potential solution and determine if it is consistent with that which you would like to achieve. We also have Google Presentations. Clearly, it is web-based and free. It's important for you to determine that which you need and how you can use it best. Then we have Keynote, Mac, price appropriate, depending on that which you want to create, followed by Beamer. Now, as you can see, it's a presentation language class of utilization in technology. What is most important is based upon the research, you can see that a poll was conducted and the results were quantified. Surprising, or is it? You decide. Look at this. PowerPoint remains dominant, almost 4 times that of Prezi, followed by Keynote. Then you have Google Presentations. It's up to you. You must do the research. Too frequently, it may be assumed that solutions are black box and require no detailed investigation. That is not the case at all. The onus is upon you as the presenter to do as much work as possible because your goal is to satisfy the need of the audience. The audience has attended in order to hear what you have to say. The audience is expecting that there is content and that you will provide insight, knowledge, and skill, attributes that they can utilize and incorporate into their own toolkit. Now, I want to talk to you about the process of organizing yourselves. There are certain things that one must do when designing a presentation. First and foremost, you lay it out. Too frequently, it is assumed that a presentation can be keyboarded. I encourage you to always create an outline. I encourage you to use an outline template. You can find them by Googling outline examples, outline format. This enables you to establish the structure. Generally, a presentation will require monolithic research. You never make a statement that you cannot justify. There must be evidence. Smooth transitions from point to point. Logical structure. Making sure that your slides will enable you to reinforce your message and assist the audience in registering that which you are saying. It is always very important to pace yourself. Too frequently, I have observed presentations in which the speaker is racing through the material so rapidly that the audience does not have the opportunity to register what the speaker is delivering. The TED phenomenon, global phenomena, has taken hold and is conducted in a wide range of locations. And we have found that the TED approach is unique because TED combines the delivery, the oral delivery, with presentation software. Whether it is Prezi or whether it is PowerPoint is the decision that the presenter must make. Nevertheless, I encourage you to access the TED Talks. You can Google them and you can find them. And they're categorized according to genre, subject matter. You will observe how people do deliver and how they do combine themselves. It's staging, where one stands, how one presents the information, the color choice, the palette that is used. The palette is very important. It will enhance your presentation, your message. And it is aesthetically appealing. So be very concerned about colors and how you use them, how you blend them for your audience. I found recently, while conducting research in order to present this evening, there is a solution on the horizon, and I'd like to reference that document, if possible, Felipe. Earlier, April of this year, as you can see. More and more, that which takes place is that you have a broad cross-section of individuals, of students, of professionals. Cross-cultural, intercultural, competence is appropriate, engagement is appropriate, and quite frequently, presentations will be delivered in English. So there are many solutions that are available for individuals in which English is a second language. That being the case, most recently, I became aware of this solution developed by two Japanese architects. And forgive me, I believe it's Peicha-Kucha. Phonetically, I believe that is the case. And as you can see by the information provided, you can check Wikipedia to get more details. What is interesting, however, timing. Timing is so critical. As I referenced, as I prefaced our discussion, you have an outline format, the intro, body, conclusion, the rule of three, the role of having groupings of three. Whether it's 3 minutes, 13 minutes, 30 minutes, 3 hours, that format is applicable. What they do with Peicha-Kucha is unique. And as you can see, it is based upon 20 slides. What I found was that there is a movement. The organization is establishing itself as a presence, as a global presence more and more. But what is unique about this sort of presentation is that there is a timer, 20 seconds per slide. Do the math, 6 minutes and 40 seconds exactly. I found it interesting because in Toastmasters, for instance, typical speeches are delivered 5 to 7 minutes with 30-second deviations. So the range is 4 minutes 30 seconds through 7 minutes and 30 seconds. This is a frame for Peicha-Kucha because you must realize that whether you're dazzling an audience with a slide of some sort, technology, it is the voice, it is the presenter. That is what is most crucial for your delivery. People have short attention spans. So you must be able to convey your message and do it in a manner that is most memorable. Visuals will help you do so, will reinforce that messaging. The people at the Pachacucha organization have designed these events, and they take place throughout. As a matter of fact, we are in Albuquerque. They have a presence in Taos. I understand there is a movement, a grouping in El Paso, Texas, Denver, Colorado, I expect as well, Phoenix, and some of the other major cities in Arizona. Delivery, clarity of voice, utilizing that voice, utilizing it as a complement to the slide. This is what technology can do. You have to make sure that your structure is rooted in fundamentals. The timing. The interesting thing about the Pachacucha that I found fascinating is that there's an automatic timer. So it is forcing the presenter to stage and present a certain way. In doing so, there is conciseness. You must be succinct. And there's an economy with words. This takes us back to the ideas of rhetoric, how you use language. Remember, an alliteration, a string of words, all beginning with the same letter of the alphabet, are audible and will be registered in the mind. Use of metaphor, use of parallelism, repetition. These are all devices that are useful to the presenter because your goal is always to maintain the attention of the audience. And frequently what takes place is that if a slide is too busy, if there's too much text, if the color combinations are not appealing, the audience will shut down. You've lost your connection to the audience. There's something else I wanted to make sure you understood. Too frequently, we've been socialized during presentations that the lights will be turned off. And in recent years, it has been established that at all costs, one must always see the speaker. So if there is a small lamp attached to the podium, the lectern, that has always been beneficial because the audience must always see the presenter, the speaker, during that delivery. Connect with the audience, connect with the slide presentation, and there is triangulation. And that is what you want to maintain. A connection with the audience, a connection with the slide, and a connection with the timer should you choose to use it. Because using it will also enable you to maintain a greater control of the presentation. I know that I've been chatting for some time. I'd like to determine if there are any questions. I'd like to know if there's any other point that I could elaborate on in order to assist you in any way. Now, what I have found as we navigate through the process of using the technology, make sure that you arrive to your venue well in advance of your event. Make sure that if your technology, if your presentation is on a thumb drive, email it to yourself, because you always want to have access to your material. Additionally, make sure that the AV equipment, the audiovisual equipment in the environment operates properly. Make sure that you have as much information with regard to the technology, the layout of the environment that will enhance your presentation. look at the room. I want you to always make sure that you walk the room, so to speak. Become comfortable with it. Position the podium, the lectern. You never want to stand in a way that will have your silhouette blocking the slide, always to the side. As you saw with John Freisinger, he was never in front of the slide. It is very important. If necessary, if you must be positioned in another area of the room, have an assistant, have backup. It is very useful because certain instances require that you are moving about. Sometimes you are engaging the audience. And if you have an assistant who is by the console, that will enable you to do a great deal more with regard to an effective delivery. I think it's also important to discuss structure, phraseology, appropriate grammar, diction, syntax. I want you to know that when you prepare a slide, lay it out. Make sure there's continuity, that it is logical. Ensure that there's precision so that you are utilizing your vocabulary in a manner for optimal advantage. Check the spelling. If there's one thing you must be careful with, is spelling and punctuation, especially on a slide. It can have a negative impact if done improperly. It is also important for you to rehearse. Determine the amount of time that has been allocated to you and rehearse and refine and continue until you are comfortable with the subject matter. Not in a manner of delivery that is robotic. The more you practice, the more comfortable you are with the subject matter and you are able to deliver. There are certain things that one must do in this preparation process. We spend less than 1 hour a day, 1 hour per day, looking at ourselves. It is always important to practice in front of a mirror. You must be aware of body language, and body language includes movement above the neck, what you're doing as you turn your head, raise your eyebrows, because that can impact the audience and affect how they receive the information that you are delivering. Practice, practice, practice. It may sound cliche, but the more you practice, the more comfortable you are with the material. The ease of delivery will increase, and you will have a wonderful experience. It is human to be nervous. It is human because we have emotion, and typically we operate in groups. And when we are separated, we are exposed. We are afar. We have to use technology not to hide behind it, because the responsibility of the presenter is to always take precedence over the technology. The technology is useful. It is your tool. It does not have primary status with regard to the presentation. The speaker does. And always understand that, because you are in control of the presentation. Karina is typing. Karina, I'm looking forward to your comment or question. Structure, organization is so critical. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Well, Karina, thank you very much for your kind words. Always know that we are available to assist you. The GRC is a wonderful, wonderful place at UNM. And should you have any questions, we will always be available to assist you in any way. Do we have any other comments, feedback, questions? The files that we discussed are available. I encourage you to review them and know that should you have any questions, we can always assist you.
Okay, guys, while we have the last questions to Mark, I'm gonna bring the evaluation link. Okay, so don't forget to provide us with your feedback so we can improve our services on your behalf. So this is the evaluation link on your browser now. And it's also on the chat window for you. Thank you. I wanted to thank Mark for this wonderful presentation. Thanks for everybody who joined. I'm stopping the recording now.